pioneers work across all areas of society, not just in design. In mid-19th century Rochdale, the Industrial Revolution brought benefits, but also misery, with long working hours, low pay, grinding poverty and hunger. But those desperate living conditions proved to be a force for good. Back in 2007, I went to find out more. A radical group of young men who were appalled at what they saw decided to offer the people of Rochdale an alternative, a different way to feed their families and a chance to escape the appalling poverty and the conditions that most of them faced. These young men were called the Rochdale Pioneers, and it was here 160 years ago that their story began, right here in Toad Lane. And in fact, this building, number 31, is regarded as the home of the Co-op. This is where the Co-op began. Let's go in. So, who were the men who started the Co-op, the Rochdale Pioneers? Well, I've come to find out. And I'm here to meet the Co-op's historian, Dorothy Greaves. Hello, Dorothy.
Hello.
Thank you so much for talking to me today. Where did it all start and why?
Well, it started because of the absolute poverty in this area. People were starving because wages had gone right down from, say, up to £2 a week to 5 shillings, 6 and 9 pence. Now, you had 8 children, 6 and 9 pence didn't go very far. And of course, shopkeepers used to adulterate their food to make more profit.
What, give the wrong weights and the wrong measures?
Well, they put sand in the oatmeal, plaster of Paris and chalk in the flour, brown earth in the cocoa, leaves from the trees in the tea. And, of course, they put the blobs of lead on the back of the scales. Yes. Now, everybody knew the lead was there. Of course they did. But everybody was in debt to the shopkeepers.
Angered by the poverty the people of Rochdale faced, the pioneers decided to save a small amount of their wages each week so they could start their own cooperative shop.
They got £28 together and started looking for an empty shop. And then they came across this building. So then it was a question of, right lads, what's next? Well, we better, do something with walls. What about a counter? I think a few planks and, 2 barrels will do it.
Incredible, isn't it?
And then they bought some scales. No lead on these scales. This was an honest cooperative, of course.
So tell me about the very first opening day. What happened on the first day?
That was a red letter night.
Oh, it was a night?
Oh, indeed, yes. Don't forget these men had to do their own jobs during the day. They couldn't give their jobs up.
Okay.
So they were supposed to open at 7 o'clock. But there was such a big crowd waiting outside, making such a noise. All the cheeky doffers from the mill shouting, "Come on, when are you going to open? Hurry up, what are you selling? Come on, it's dark out, it's cold, come on." All that noise made these men nervous.
The 3 anxious pioneers in the shop that night were James Smithers, Billy Cooper and Sam Ashworth.
7 o'clock came and went, got to 10 to 8, still hadn't opened. Of course, dear James, Smithers said, "Come on, you lads, who's going to open the door?" "There you go." "Oh no, there you go." Nobody go, so of course he went round, pulled the bolts back, and he opened the door wide. Well, there was such a rush forward from outside to see what's happening. They'd heard so many stories, but what did they see? This tiny dark room, just a few flickering candles, 9 sacks on the floor, and a bit of butter on the end of the counter. 1 or 2 ladies walked in, then they walked out. Then an old lady walked in, and she asked for half a pound of sugar. And that was the very first sale here. Wow. They went on to have a lovely evening, and they actually took 5 shillings and 4pence. I mean, how great can you get?
Yeah, history was made.
Indeed. It said they hopped and skipped down Toad Lane just after midnight, thrilled to bits that they'd opened their honest cooperative shop.
So what happened when the group realised this was a roaring success?
So one of the big things they did was to decide that 2.5% of their profits would go to education.
Right.
I mean, they realised, knowledge is power.
It is.
So they actually had a school for their members upstairs, and the pioneers did the teaching. Yeah. Reading, writing, arithmetic, mathematics, geometry, and political economy. They did so many things. They started the drapery in here in 1847. They started the butchers in 1845. Clogs and shoes up on the next floor. Tailoring department for gentlemen. And then eventually they decided, James Smithers decided, he was very forward-thinking, right lads, let's have a nice big department store. So, by 1867, they bought a piece of land higher up Toad Lane, and they built a magnificent department store.
What an inspirational story. The Rochdale Pioneers proved what can be achieved when people come together and work for a common cause.